What's up, what's going on, legends? It's your boy Errl Shatter here, and in today's video, I'm bringing you guys the best controller settings for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, these settings will not only work for the PlayStation 4, but they will also work for the Xbox One and those of you all using the controller on the PC. Now, some settings are, of course, meant to be left at default. Others you may not know to disable, and then things such as sensitivity and button layout will, of course, be a matter of personal preference. But I feel like with a base idea of what settings you should be running, you will have an easier time finding what works for you. Now, if you guys do enjoy this content at any time, make sure you guys go down below and smash that like button, as it greatly helps support the channel. Let's go ahead and throw that goal of 50 likes on today's video. Also, if you guys are interested in finding your way back to the channel, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button alongside that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. Now, the first setting that we're going to be taking a look at is going to be the button layout. Obviously, by default, it is going to be on default, but for me, even over the past however many years I've been playing Call of Duty at this point, I've always ran something different. I started with tactical, which obviously switches your melee button, which is the right stick, with your crouch or lay down button, which will be circle or B, depending on which controller you're playing on. Now, that worked out really well for me for a very long time, and then at one point I decided I would switch to stick and move, which allows me to switch my jump button with my melee button. So that would be able to leave me with my thumb on the right stick, be able to jump and still maintain my accuracy with my aim. It's been very useful for me. Now, you guys do not have to change this setting whatsoever, but if you guys are looking to try something a little bit different, see if something else works better for you, I highly recommend trying either the tactical button layout or stick and move. Now, at this point, I do have an Astro controller, so the the button layout is kind of irrelevant to me at this point, because I can kind of map those back two buttons to whatever I kind of want them to be, and it makes those other buttons a little bit more irrelevant. Now, the next setting that we're going to be taking a look at is the biggest thing as far as personal preference can be in the settings for controllers. That's going to be your sensitivity. Obviously, if you're having a hard time staying on target, you're having a hard time getting on target to begin with, maybe your sensitivity is just a little bit too high. Maybe you should turn it down just a notch. The idea is to get the right sensitivity so that you can be as accurate as possible. So if you're squirreling all over the place, it's kind of defeating the purpose of having a high sensitivity. Now, the next thing that's going to be a little variable is going to be the ADS sensitivity. Now, for me personally, I left this on default of 1. If you feel like you can find a really good sensitivity as far as normal, you're moving around, you're able to get to target without too much issue, but when you aim down sight, you feel like you're just a little bit inaccurate, maybe adjusting the ADS sensitivity is something that you would want to do. Maybe put it to 0.90, 0.75, whatever the heck you want to put it at. Give that a shot. Like I said, some of these settings are something that you're going to have to find for yourself. Personal preference is key here, so finding out what works for you is very important. Now, the next setting that was kind of new to Modern Warfare here is obviously the aim response curve. This, by default, is something that is a little bit different, so having it on standard might throw you off just a little bit. By putting it on linear, you're going to have what we've been having in the last many Call of Duties before this, so it'll feel a little bit more traditional, a little bit more in the realm that you're used to, and something you can kind of tweak in case you're feeling a little bit off. The next thing, obviously, which I consider a must disable, is going to be the vibration. For me, it's just very distracting, very annoying, doesn't really add to the experience of the game. So if you guys haven't already shut this thing off, make sure you absolutely do so. And let me know down in the comment section below, honestly, if you enjoy using controller vibration, let me know why you enjoy using it. I'm also open to hearing why people choose to run with controller vibration, because some people actually really do prefer it, and it's not something that I've ever really been interested in, honestly. So let me know down in the comment section if you guys really do enjoy the controller vibration and why. So our next, obviously, setting here is going to be aim assist. Aim assist obviously has a few options this year. Disabling is something I absolutely do not recommend. Keeping it on standard is probably the best bet. There is the other two options, but obviously the best settings is what is best for the majority of people. And keeping it on standard is going to be the best for most people, as having either of the other two options is going to kind of disable your rotational aim assist, which can typically not be the best for most people. Obviously, if you've been a Call of Duty veteran for some time, or you overall just want to try something new, changing these settings, seeing if you're able to still, stay on targets, keep your accuracy, you are more than welcome to tweak these things. But if you've switched them and you've been having a hard time, I highly recommend going back to that standard aim assist. Obviously, a lot of these other settings, you're going to want to leave them on default. If you really, really feel like you want to turn your ADS on toggle, you want to turn your equipment, behavior on toggle, things of that nature, you're more than welcome to do so. It's just going to make your ability to adapt to the game a little bit more difficult. Probably going to be a little bit of a challenge for some time, but across the board, settings are pretty straightforward. There are some things, like I said, that are going to be personal preference, which is, of course, finding what sensitivity works right for you, or maybe trying a different button layout and finding what works better. Across the board, I hope that, watching this video has at least helped you understand a little bit about the settings, what you should have, what you might need to tweak in order to make yourself more accurate across the board. I consider these to be the best settings for controller in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or at least the best settings to help you find what's right for you. Now, again, if you guys did enjoy this video at any time, make sure you guys do smash that like button. And if you guys are interested in finding your way back to the channel, make sure you guys do hit the subscribe button alongside that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. Thank you guys for all tuning into today's video. Thank you guys for the support on the channel. I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace!